Assalamu alaikum. My name is Halima Hajat. I am a holistic consultant and I'm here on the Health Podcast brought to you by UCTV and sponsored by AUDLEY Late Night Pharmacy. And today I wanted to talk about the link of stress to cancer. And actually it's not just cancer, but a lot of really common medical conditions that we're seeing today that we didn't see 30, 40, 50 years ago. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of understanding, a little bit of context of how generally our bodies work. Okay, so for example, let's look at diabetes or sugar. Okay, our blood sugars can go up and down in the body, right? So we have this kind of mechanism, like when we eat some form of sugary food in the body, the mechanism is our blood sugars will go up. Okay, so we've eaten food and then it gets absorbed, gets into our bloodstream, and our blood sugars consequently go up. Now, over time, obviously, that will come back down again until we next eat again, and then it'll go up and then it'll go down again. So we have this mechanism of this up, down, up, down, up, down function. And that entire up, down function is really common in a lot of our bodily processes, okay? Everything from hot and being hot and cold, everything from blood pressure going up and down, everything has like an up, a down, an opposite, right? So there's this kind of mechanism of balance that's always happening in our body. When something happens, there's a reaction or a response in the body, okay? So our body is always acting and counteracting depending on what we're eating, depending on what we're doing, etc. So we have this kind of balancing mechanism in our body that is always trying to like bring back the harmony. So if something goes up, it tries to release something to bring it back down again. If something goes down, it tries to release something to bring it back up again, right? So it's our bodies are designed, subhanallah, in like this kind of really just designed in a way where it's supposed to be in harmony, right? So, and our body knows what to do to bring it back into harmony. Okay, so what happens is example back for the sugar and diabetes, etc., is that when you have sugar and then your blood sugar goes up, and then obviously your body releases insulin to help bring that back down again. Okay, now this will carry on going throughout the day for days, etc. Now, if you're someone that is constantly having lots of sugar, more than what you should do, and in these days, actually, sugar is kind of one of the most problematic things we're going to find, because it's not only direct forms of sugar, as in the white sugar, but it's also indirect forms of sugar, which is hidden in foods, right? So it's hidden in bread, it's hidden in all sorts of, our tins and, the things that we're eating, all the packaged stuff. There's always sugar inside of these as well, right? And so we're kind of having an excess of what we should be having. And so what happens is that when our blood sugars go up, what's happening now that it's not a simple up and down, it's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's kind of, getting up for for long periods of time and really frequently. Okay, and as a result of that, what happens is the body gets used to going up so much that eventually it kind of just stays up, because that becomes its new normal, right? It becomes just so used to that blood sugar being up, it just kind of ends up staying up. And that's how you get diabetes as a kind of confirmed diagnosis. Your blood sugar is always high. And so then you need external forms of insulin or external forms of medication to help bring that down again. Okay. So similarly, this mechanism is the same with blood pressure, and it's the same with a lot of things that are happening, right, in our body. Now, one of the things I want to share about cancer is obviously sugar is a very big push for cancer. So sugar is a massive factor for cancer growth. Okay, but this video isn't actually about sugar. It really is a different thing that is causing cancers, and we're not recognizing it. So just like how I've shared that with food and with sugary substances, how diabetes can happen. The same thing can actually happen in things that can create cancer. So what is exactly cancer? Cancer is when good cells in your body that are perfectly healthy, that are doing its job, they kind of go rogue. They turn bad, right? And so now you've got healthy cells turn into bad cells that are like then kind of replicating, all sorts of these unhealthy, damaged cells that are causing havoc in the body. And then those are what develop into tumors, right? So what causes this? And so we have to understand that if there's something that is turning a good cell into a bad cell, that has to be some really horrific kind of environment or something that's really drastic that's causing that to happen. Okay, and one of the reasons we're seeing right now is a lot of the environmental stresses. And what I mean by that is the emotional turbulence, the struggles that everyone's going through. What we're going through right now in this kind of, I guess, in these few years, especially post-pandemic, but otherwise as well, is very different to what we've had ever before. The amount that we have in exposure to technology, the amount of information overload we have, the amount of signals going into our brain is just, it's an overload of that sense. There's so much sensory input going in, it's a literally overload of our brain. And so what's happening again, so we're having this kind of sensory input, and it's kind of causing these spikes. And usually it should just be an up and down mechanism, but because we're just on the go all the time, and because we're stressed out all the time, and we're taking in so much information from our environment, from our phones, from our TVs, from everything all the time, our brains are going like this. Their spikes are going pretty crazy. And so what's happening is over time, that frequency and that amount is causing a level of dysfunction in the way that neurotransmitters are working, in the way that hormones are being produced, and the way that is subsequently causing a massive havoc in the cells in the body, right? And so it's a really big problem. And so this is kind of very, very, and this is not just me saying it, this is something that has been proven in studies over and over again now, that a lot of conditions like cancer and especially autoimmune conditions are because of these factors. Or very strongly linked to these factors, especially in this day and age. And that is also why we're seeing it more and more now than before, because the amount of input we have in our brains right now is considerably a lot more. So this is a little bit of understanding of how there can be certain things that are causing cancer without us really recognizing it or realizing it, and bringing your attention and awareness to this. So just a little few things of what you can actually do is start to actually separate yourself from things that are actually overwhelming you, right? Things, whether it's in your work, it's in your life, technology, phone, what have you, and just have time to get some quiet time for your mind. Your mind needs to kind of get to a point where it's actually quiet, so it can calm down whatever's going on within, and then help to regulate your body. And that's what's gonna, really help with that. But this was just an information piece. Hopefully I'll do another video on the solutions and what we can do around this. But this video is really about understanding what can also be causing cancer and a lot of other autoimmune conditions we're seeing, but not really recognizing. And I think if you look around you to the people that are diagnosed with or living with cancer and struggling with a lot of autoimmune conditions, have a gorge, have a look at what is their life like, and what have they been through, what challenges and struggles have they, persevered through, because that actually will give you a little bit of insight into some of the things that they've actually had to go through, and that might still even be affecting them on some level. But hopefully you got something out of this, and inshallah I'm gonna hopefully do a lot more videos again. So keep an eye out on my channel, keep an eye out for my content. I'm in Blackburn. I'm trying to do a lot of work around holistic health and working around holistic solutions for the chronic diseases we're seeing in our community. And if you're someone that is looking to really help yourself improve your chronic conditions, or you're someone that is just on medication after medication after medication and you don't want to stay on this for life, then inshallah contact me and we can have a conversation around what might be possible in that area. My email is hello@halimahajat.com. I'll put it down in the description below. I do have a website as well if you want to check it out. It's just Halima Hajat, my name, halimahajat.com. Yes, inshallah, let me know below what you learned from this, and if there's anything you want to share, do reach out to me. Thank you for watching. This is the health podcast on UCTV, and it's sponsored by AUDLEY Late Night Pharmacy. Jazakallah and assalamu alaikum.